Alright folks, Mr. Brit Destruct here. Now, just a quick video about gold today. You remember recently I did a video about precious metals, buying gold and silver. In that video I recommended against storing any precious metals that you might buy in a safety deposit box. My reasoning behind this was because I was thinking back to the 1930s in the US when the government confiscated gold, and I was also thinking about a recent police raid that I'd read about in the UK, where the police raided a load of deposit boxes looking for stolen goods. They took everything that was in every box, and it took innocent people ages to get their goods back. You know, the goods that weren't actually stolen at all, but rightfully theirs. So that was my reasoning. And I read another article today, which reminded me of another reason not to store goods in these places. And that's of course because criminals work in banks as well. And the story's about this guy who had left £60,000 worth of gold jewellery in a safety deposit box. And one day he checked his box and the jewellery had just vanished. So it looks like an employee's, nabbed off with it. So definitely not a safe place to store goods. If you want to store precious metals or other valuable items, it's best to install a safe in your house. You can build a little safe into your basement or something and disguise it and keep your precious metals there. That's the best idea, but definitely not with a bank in a safety deposit box. And this leads me on to the other point I wanted to make tonight, which is about these cash for gold companies that are just springing up all over the place. Apparently in the UK and the US now, you've got these adverts all over TV, these companies offering cash for gold, where they provide the prepaid envelopes and you send them your jewellery and they'll give you a quote on it and then send you a cheque. I mean, it goes without saying that these places are going to rip you off. I'm sure you lot are aware of that. But if you've got any friends or family who are thinking about sending in their gold jewellery to these places, I would really advise them not to do that. Personally, I wouldn't sell gold. That would be the last thing that I would sell. If I had to raise cash, gold jewellery would be the last thing that I would sell. And I definitely wouldn't send it to these cash for gold places because they're going to rip you off. It's as simple as that. If you're really desperate for cash and you really have to sell gold, then I would think about putting it on eBay or shopping around at reputable gold dealers, but not these internet places. I don't trust them at all. If you check out that video in the sidebar, it's just the creepiest and most cynical video that I've seen in a while. Creepiest and most cynical advert, especially the presenter. I mean, there's something just a bit wrong there. Check it out and you'll see what I mean. But anyway, on a bigger scale, what this says is that these people who are running the gold companies, they realise that the pound and the dollar are just fucked, basically, for want of a better word. And they're looking to get in there and get as much cheap gold as they possibly can, because the dollar and the pound are just going down and down, and gold just keeps rising. Pound and dollar, of course, fiat currencies, not backed by anything, and in the US and the UK, the central banks are just trying to print more and more money to cover up the mess that they're in, and it's just making every single dollar and every single pound worth less and less. And these cynical, capitalists basically, they're looking to rip you off by getting your gold jewellery, and it just disgusts me really. So my message really is a very simple one: don't send your jewellery to these cash for gold places. Cheers.